Welcome back to the Royals Review Pod. I'm your host, Dan Worth, and as ever, I'm joined by my good friend, Jimmy. 2 defeats on the bounce for the Royals, a 2-0 defeat to Leyton Orient away from home this weekend. Not great, losing to 2 playoff contenders and sliding down League One. I wanted to start this show by just saying I'm not sure what the update is, but I wish the guy sat near me all the best with his medical emergency. Didn't look great midway through the first half. Eventually, paramedics did get to him, so I'm hoping he's making a good recovery. But yeah, all the best to him, and we are thinking about you for sure. Doesn't get much more positive though with the result and the performance, Jim. Give me a few words on what you made of the 2-0 loss.
Yeah, it was disappointing, I think. Hunt spoke with the club and released his little press interview or whatever, and they were looking to bounce back really and not let that Stockport defeat sort of pave the way and pave over all of the decent results that we picked up over the festive period. So I was kind of confident going into this. I feel like Orient are a team that they could beat. Even with Stockport, I was thinking, they are a really tough side. So I was confident against Orient, but it just, it didn't play out how anyone wanted it really. Again, similar with Stockport, it sort of played out the way in which it was played out the first time that we played them this season. And I've just, been speaking on X with a couple of people as well. And although we look like we're in possession a lot and, had control of the game, we've ended up walking away with 0 points from both fixtures against Leyton Orient this season. And I don't know, I always just think, learn your lesson from the first time you play against them. And if it's the exact same performance the second time, to me, you've not learned anything. And it was kind of like that for these last 2 matches. What about you? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think on the 90 minutes as a whole, we were completely outplayed, and we didn't deserve anything at all. But that said, I think before they went 1-0 up, I was stood there thinking we are well in this game. Like we didn't look like the teams looked evenly matched. Like no one was the standout. It was a little bit open. It looked like there could be chances for Reading, but then we completely threw it away. And I don't want to point fingers at Campbell, but to me, he's at fault for both goals. Poor decision making, keeping hold of the ball for way too long in dangerous areas. Lose the ball and they score both times. So really frustrating. When we went 1-0 down, we didn't look like scoring from then on. We literally didn't look like doing anything. Created next to nothing. The best chances we had were half chances from free kicks. One where Dean literally just cushioned it down to the keeper. 3 shots in a game, which is pathetic, really. You're not going to win games by just having 3 shots unless you're scoring all 3 of them. The only chance we had in the game actually was when Andre Garcia played a nice 1-2 with Smith. Goes through on goal, and the touch is just. I don't want to be too harsh on him, but it's not a good touch at all. Straight into the keeper's hands. So I think going forward, it's quite a disappointing performance, really. Smith had nothing. Campbell just wasn't effective at all. Again, I think we need to be careful here, to be honest, because this podcast is going to be exactly the same as last week's. We just hoofed it time and time again. We couldn't beat any players. We made 2 successful dribbles in the game. One of them's Charlie Savage. I can't even see who the other one is. Garcia and Savage. That's not good enough. Going back to the 3 shots, actually. Obviously, 3 shots is nowhere near good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think had the shots?
Smith, Garcia, and Savage.
Savage did have one, but the other 2 are Bindon and Dean. So, your centre backs are making up 2/3 of the shots in the game. It doesn't sound like a convincing attacking performance. And we just look completely impotent going forward. Again, it's another time where Wing is completely marked out of the game and was ineffective. He dropped so deep a lot of the time as well, and really made us miss not Garcia, Elliot. So yeah, I mean, I'm being very negative here, and I don't think there is any actual real need to panic or be overly negative. But I do think it was not a good game, and I think we should acknowledge that. Obviously, also another disappointing factor is Dorset going off after like 90 seconds with what looked like a hamstring injury. I haven't seen any updates. I don't know if there has been any, but that didn't look good.
Dorset's not had the best of times this season against Orient. I remember when they were at the SCL, their tactic was literally double up on Dorset and just pump as many balls his way as possible, and he was just winning nothing. He was just getting completely dominated, and then obviously picking up an injury a minute and a half into this one is not good. They're his bogey team for sure.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, they did the same this time. Like they pumped it down the right. They cut the ball between Bindon and Dorset and Carney when he came on. Straight down. That's how they scored the goals. Like easy pass, split those two players in, goal. And nothing. I don't think, and I know this is going to sound bitter, I don't think Leyton Orient were really anything special, to be honest. I just don't think we made them get out of second gear. Really, they scored their 2 goals. They took their 2 chances.
Yeah,
easy win for them. So
I know.
Yeah.
I think you know what though. Like I rate that so much. Just keeping things simple and just playing to their strengths and picking up results and grinding out results against, I don't know. I mean, they would probably consider Reading as, a harder than maybe half the other teams that they're going to come up against in this league. And they've got 6 points out of us this season. Same with Stockport. But I think, although this is all quite negative, it has to be highlighted. Especially the sort of hoofball strategy that we've got going on, and like you just mentioned, the attacking inefficiencies. We're not really creating anywhere near as much sort of high quality chances as we used to. Under Sellers, we were creating a lot. That was one of the sort of key stats that we were picking up on each week, was just how many chances we were creating. And I don't think that the sort of drop off can be put down to Elliot being out. I think, it's definitely something that Hunt needs to address. We saw Sellers adapt, didn't we, early on in his career as the Reading manager, and change his tactics. And I'm kind of expecting and hoping that Hunt will do the same. For me, that's that sort of. I know we say we don't have a plan B. To me, that is the plan B. If you can adapt and change your tactics and sort of understand that there's an issue going on, then that would be good enough for me. But yeah, Burton next, must win, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I just wanted to go back on one thing you said then about Noel Hunt. I've seen a lot of people saying that he needs to go already. Like, you're an idiot, shut up. Like, that's just ridiculous. So I just wanted to get that on camera, of saying anyone who is suggesting that is just quite frankly an idiot. He needs way more time. And you have to remember that Sellers obviously was awesome for us, but he also suffered in January last season. So it's not like, it doesn't mean he's a bad manager just because he's lost 2 games against playoff contenders. So yeah, people need to just try and be a little bit more supportive, I think, and it's not the end of the world when we lose games, and we're not the best team in the world when we win games. It's somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I think people need that reminder. But Burton is a must-win, mate. They've won their last 2. They've not won 3 on the bounce since February 2023. So 2 years. But along comes Reading, and maybe we'll be the team that make way. But
especially with John Daddy Bodvarsson as well. Signing for them a couple of weeks back, and I think he's got 3 goals in his last 2 games now. So it's sort of written in the stars now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, they don't have the worst team in the world. They've just had a really poor start to the season. They're the last. They're 21st, I think. But as I say, they've won their last two. They're in better form. I mean, they haven't beaten us since 2017, but I don't think that necessarily means anything. We're a very different team now to what we were in 2017. I'm just looking at the matchup now, and it doesn't there's not really anything to suggest that we'll win this comfortably. To be honest, that they've got some strong players, as do we, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it means anything, I do feel like out of all the games that I've been at the SCL this season, the 3-1 win against Burton before Christmas was, I thought we sort of completely dominated them. Obviously, Ken Campbell scoring his first 2 goals for Reading there as well, I think, during that game. So a perfect opportunity for him to make up from the 2 mistakes that he made against Orient.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I don't doubt that he can do it. I think he just had a bad game against Orient, and against teams like Burton is your time to prove it, not to put them down and badmouth them, because that's just a recipe for disaster ahead of the game. But you've got to go into that game with full of confidence that you can get a result and play with flair, and we have to be having more than 3 shots against Burton. If we don't, we'll be on the end of a really, really disappointing result, and then maybe we can start to worry about sliding down the table. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, that's you're totally right. I'm hoping it will be completely different. I wonder if we'll see any changes now that Kelvin is back. Obviously didn't start against Leyton Orient. But I think if they are going to be playing this hoofball, as we've been calling it, he's probably, him and Smith are probably the 2 best players that we've got to be on the end of those. So I mean, I'm hoping that we don't, because I also feel like with the ball at their feet, both of those players are as good. But yeah, I mean, it would definitely be beneficial having Kelvin starting that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really good timing for him to come back in to the squad, because, okay, you take Burton out as maybe one of the easier games, but the fixtures following that are Bolton at home, Huddersfield away, Shrewsbury at home, Rotherham at home, and Birmingham at home. So, what's that? 3 of the top 6, is it? Well, I mean, Huddersfield and Birmingham obviously right up the top. So it's quite a tough period now. So we really need to be beating teams like Burton.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, Lewis Wing, I don't know if you saw it, saying at the end of last week, that they do feel like they're good enough for playoffs. I think this is a perfect opportunity to sort of put your money where your mouth is. Get the ball rolling again in terms of good form.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're 1 point out of the playoffs with a game in hand. It's not disastrous at the moment, but need to be winning these games if we're going to be in the playoffs. So, I think we can go into this game quite positive, even though we have lost our last 3 technically, if you include the FA Cup game. But anyway, I think that brings us to a close for today, Jim. I'm sure we'll be back after that Burton game, hopefully celebrating a bounce back and a win. Thanks very much for joining us, everyone. We'll catch you later on in the week after the Birmingham win. Fingers crossed. Come on, you are.